waiting for, okay. Perfect.
Check, 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 check. And you might probably, we can just turn it off right now.
Yeah.
Batteries are good on that one.
I'll remember to. There was a little bit of a feedback earlier with that.
Yep, yep. We,
This is where the panel is going.
check, check, check.
Check, check, check. For a second. Check, check, check.
Hello, welcome. Welcome, everyone. My name is Bao. I'll be leading and moderating the next session here at 11:30. I do believe we'll have other friends joining us and trickling in, so no problem there. But I want to know what you've been learning. Are there some brave souls? Anyone who wants to raise their hand and tell us one aha moment they had in the previous workshop session? And I'm going to wait. Silence makes people act. What's one aha moment? What's one thing you're taking away from those sessions, from that first session that says, you know what, I'm going to act on that, or I'm going to find out more about that topic or activity or that group of people I just went to visit? And if I don't see any hands, I will call. Oh, now I see hands. I'm going to bring this around. And my friend right here will start.
Marketing was one of the ones that I wanted to.
1 second. I'm going to hand it over to you. Yeah. And you're going to say, my name is Zhe or Jer, and I learned this.
My name is Zer, Zer Lor, and I learned that marketing is very important in the session I was in. I'm just thinking it through, like, your business will prosper if you pick the right location, the right audience, or the right customer. So that was the one thing that I wanted to explore more into it and do a little more research into it.
Awesome. Thank you. Can I have one more person tell us what was an aha moment? What did I take away from that session that I'd like to share right now so that other people can also experience it? I saw a hand right up there. He's wearing a blue shirt. Can I have you come down, sir? Thank you. Okay, he said he has a loud enough voice. Let's test it.
My name is Tu Yang. I was in the managing business credit, and the last thing I believe they left us with was building relationships and networking. Building that positive relationship so you can connect and keep building on top of other relationships on top of that too.
Building relationships, thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to all of our workshop presenters. They're doing good work, they prepared for this moment, and they were even nervous themselves. I saw them, I met them before, they went into their session, and they wanted to give it their all. And I hope that you come across, you've come away with some great tips and some new connections. We have an exciting next session for you. It's all about learning about these fantastic business leaders in our community, and they represent both the for-profit and the nonprofit sector, so that's great diversity today. And we're going to learn about some of their achievements, some of their accomplishments, and some of the challenges along the way. Who's ready? I think you can do better. Who's ready for the next session? Thank you so much. And I'm not Jia Vang. She's a much prettier, much taller Hmong woman in the back. My name is Bao Vang. I'm the Vice President of Communications for the Better Business Bureau. We're located in Burnsville, Minnesota. Tell me, please raise your hand if you've ever heard of the Better Business Bureau. All right. Thank you. For those who don't know, our mission is to advance marketplace trust. Sounds simple, right? We're envisioning a community where sellers and buyers trust each other. Sounds simple enough. You want to buy something? You know that the seller has something legitimate to offer you. You want to sell something? Well, you know that the marketplace will protect you if a consumer doesn't like that product. We are located in Burnsville, as I mentioned, and we offer a few different opportunities for everyone in this room. As a consumer, we are the community leader in scam prevention education. We want to protect your identity and your hard-earned money. And for business leaders in this room, we want to help you stand out in the community. John Yang, our president for the Hmong Chamber, he is a BBB accredited business, which means that he gets a vetted, credible reputation that other digital marketers don't have. Meaning, if you're looking for someone to do digital marketing with, SEO with, you're gonna go to someone who has already been verified by the Better Business Bureau. I'm here today to be your moderator, to be someone that has the greatest privilege in life, and that is to ask questions of our very talented group here, those who have insights into the struggles and how to overcome them. So once again, give a round of applause to our amazing panelists. And I'm going to give you this. And I'm going to check my mic. You can hear me here. Lovely. Why don't you, Stephen, grab one? Jen, I'm going to give you one as well. Make sure they're turned on. Fantastic. Today, we have with us Meena. Meena and Dipankar represent Pangea World Theater. We have Stephen Tao, the CEO of Creative Results. We also have Ku Vang, who is the CEO and president of JB Vang. And you've heard from him this morning if you attended the morning session. Jin Chang, the CEO of Chan's Consulting and the general contractor for Asia Mall. I'm going to start this morning with Meena and Dipankar. If you can both introduce your names, your titles with Pangea World Theater, and a little bit, 1 minute, about what Pangea does for the community.
So my name is Meena Natarajan, and I am one of the artistic directors and the executive director of Pangea World Theatre. And Pangea is located in Minneapolis. We are a theater company that brings together people from many, many different backgrounds and communities to create work together. And our mission is that of social justice and equity is a huge part of the way we do our work. One more small thing before I hand it over to Dipankar. The word Pan means universal, and Gaia is the Greek goddess of the earth. And Pangea is that supercontinent that existed before drift happened, when the whole world was one landmass. So we took the name Pangea, and it's not a we are the world kind of thing. It's more, how do we build solidarity with each other and we've existed for the past 26, this is our 26th year of existence.
Thank you. Dipankar.
Hi, my name is Dipankar Mukherjee, and I'm the co-artistic director of Pangea World Theatre. And we see ourselves at the nexus of community building, arts, and how can art be used as a catalytic tool to impact education, to impact policy, to impact community building. We're redefining art to be not just mere entertainment and Bollywood, but art being the sort of an architect of what does a healthy community look like. And we have been doing it for over 26 years, and we present, we commission new work. We have a national directing institute where we train directors, like women and directors of color to impact, because only when we have, not always, but it should be with everyone, but when we have directors of color, then we have more artists of color audition, and that means more playwrights of color writing. So it's connected in multiple ways. So it's a national directing institute, and that's where we are training women and directors of color. So we do a lot for the community. We are a part of the community, and so we hold a mirror to what the community needs are, and it's just a creative way of addressing those issues.
Thank you, Dipankar.
Thank you, Bob.
And don't believe Stephen's baby face. He's actually been in business for 16 years. You look like you're 18. How is that possible? But he is the chief executive officer of his own company, and he has more than 100 employees. Stephen, tell us a little bit about Creative Results.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Friends, you guys are all my friends. If not already, you will be after this, all right? So make sure you come and shake my hand so we can be friends.
Yes.
I'm Stephen Tao. I'm the CEO and broker of Creative Results. I'm not the superstar of Creative Results, just a broker. This company here was formed by me in right about 2013 with two concentrations that I really huge at. One of them is to service or provide income opportunities for individuals who's looking for a place to build their business, which they will become our licensed agents in the state of Minnesota, Wisconsin. The second portion is servicing the general public, which is residential real estate to commercial real estate. We do more 80% on the residential real estate and 20% on the commercial side. But again, it covers both Minnesota, Wisconsin, including investing as well too. What I mean about investing is not the traditional type of borrow money 20% down, but the creative side of real estate there. So your question was, what's the, how do I don't get fooled by the looks? Actually, I am a lot older, so maybe I should save that for a fun fact, right?
Yes, we will. We will be talking about fun facts later. So Stephen, keep your thought. All right, Koo. Every time I look at Koo, I want to call him JB Vang, right? Is everyone else like JB Vang, JB Vang? Do you get that, Koo? All the time. Fun. My husband and I were just watching your Among Hustlers video this morning, and J is actually an initial of yours. You're James. Correct. James Lingthu, right? James? Okay, so Koo is your preferred name, so we're going to call you Koo today. Koo, you have a $700+ million portfolio.
Let me correct that.
Okay.
So my name is Koo. I'm with JB Vang Partners in St. Paul. We're a real estate development and management company. Been around since 1984. We started doing development work in 2005. Since 2005, we developed over 3 million square feet and 700 million in properties.
Love that.
We don't keep all the properties, and not all the properties are developed for our in-house portfolio. Many of the properties are developed for third parties. So in our world, you could call that a merchant developer or a development manager in our world. So of the portfolio we keep, it's quite a bit less than the 700 million. So, but we've been around for a long time. We've done stuff such as charter schools, we've done casinos, we've done medical buildings. We started doing affordable housing. We've been chasing affordable housing for a long time, but every time we go in and ask for tax credits, the answer has always been, you don't have any experience. And this was about 10, 11 years ago. And so we decided to go out and get experience elsewhere, and we came back about 4 or 5 years ago. We still don't have housing experience. And so what I've told the city is that, can I be the idiot in the room? Who's the #1 housing lawyer in town? Who's the #1 housing designer in town? Who's the #1 housing builder in town? And we bring all of them to the team, right? You can't say no to the team because I'm the only idiot in the room, okay? And I'm the one that is not doing anything. They're doing all of the work. We just finished our first affordable housing project on the east side of St. Paul called the Parkway with Michael Tsavayetau, and he might be in here. 60 units, 27 million. The whole building, we accept Section 8 for the whole building. It's what we called family-friendly, community nuanced housing. What I mean by this is our pantries are a little bit bigger. Being communities of color, we have larger families. We buy in bulk. We don't buy 6 packs of toilet paper. We buy a box of 240 rolls of toilet paper. We need a place to store them. We don't buy, a pack of beef tips where we're going down to the slaughterhouse and we're slaughtering the pig, right? Yeah. We need coffin coolers so it freezes so we can store these things. This is the community nuance, or for a lack of better word, culturally sensitive, family-friendly housing that we do. So that's for now, right?
Excellent. Yes, thank you. Cool. And Jin speaks perfect English, by the way.
Oh, no.
Jin, thank you so much for being here, as well as everyone else. You are building Asia Mall, but on top of that, you're a consultant and general contractor. We'd love to just have you speak a little bit for a minute or two about your
Yes, my name is Jin Chen. I own the Chen Consulting since 2009. Back for 2009, I usually own a small restaurant, bunch of small Chinese to-go and Japanese restaurants, stuff like that. After this, 2009, I just got too tired for a restaurant is no holiday, no family. So I get enough experience in 2009 general contract. Most of when I started the business, most of serving for Chinese community restaurant to building the community Chinese. Most of 80% of Chinese restaurant in Twin City are built. After 4 years later, 2012, that we have a bunch of small Japanese restaurant or sushi restaurant, Habaji. Then I keep building on it. My crew is, my team is particular, we usually helping customer and decide the restaurant to A to C to finish it to, that's the reason why keep me so busy. And out of this, usually not just provide remodeling restaurant, we provide helping customer to set up all the equipment, provide all the equipment. I even sell the equipment too. So since last year, we find a location in Even Prairie, the Asian Mall. So I'll take over and the same thing. Everything inside architects and design is get it done by our company.
Nice.
So now I'm working on a challenging thing because a pandemic, not a material, shipping or delay. That's the reason why Asian Mall not open yet. But it's very soon coming soon. Hopefully get it done by July, middle of July. We should be opening it up.
Middle of July, we'll
Yes.
be coming through.
Yep.
Most Asian people, most Hmong people you'll see in this room live on the east side, so we'll have to drive over to Eden Prairie.
Well, the reason why the Even Prairie, we pick out the Even Prairie area because a simple area, we have not a grow Asian business. We don't want to affect each other. So
Yeah.
get a little bit far away, we have to support each other, not, chasing business each other. That's the
Yes.
reason why I pick all the way to Even Prairie, the area, I hope no Asian business out there, yeah. Pretty much only have a small restaurant.
Yes, we will come, don't you worry. kids.
Welcome,
We
welcome
will
everybody.
come.
We all Asian, right?
Clap if you're gonna go to Asian Mall, middle of July. All right, so in business school, I always learned businesses are started out when you learn pain points in the community, right? Well, there's no sidewalk, so I have to build it. Or the schools don't exist that I want, so we're gonna build charter schools. So I'm gonna ask our team here, if you can sum up in 1, 2, 3 words, what was a pain point that you experienced before your idea was sparked? What was it with a theater that was going to solve a community issue?
So we noticed that, so the punker came out of the Guthrie Theater, and I don't know how to do it in 3 words.
Keep going.
Yeah, and he found that there were Asian American theater, Latinx theater, so there were identity-based theaters, African American, and so on. But there wasn't a place where we could bring all of these people together to create work together. And so that was kind of the point.
I love that.
Yes.
Dipankar, did you want to add to that?
The only thing I would add is that what was also missing is that, in these larger, very well-resourced organizations, you can just run down the list, whether it's Guthrie or MIA or Walker, all these multi-billion-dollar organizations. When I came, there were about 400 employees. Other than me, who was the resident director, and the part-time receptionist, there was not a single person of color. And yet, when we go to, chat, actually, the first Hmong theater that was created here, and since then, multiple organizations have come up with my friends in the Hmong community, the different Asian American communities, and Latinx community, the Somali community, East African. It's filled, on a cultural day of their particular community, it's just packed with youth, packed with elders. But when it comes to the spaces which are supposedly the mainstream, we never found any person of color. And diversity conversation stopped with African American and white.
Yes.
Asian Americans, so therefore after seeing this, either I can continue being there and say, no, include this and include that. We came out of the Guthrie and we created Pangea, where it's people of community has an ownership. So that was, I think, what was missing, and we just provided a space and it just mushroomed.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that was a identifiable solution that we faced.
26 years, going
Now
strong.
we're 26 years.
Yeah, thank you. Stephen, this is also accidental for you to go into
It was.
real estate. But what was it that really drew you in, and what were you trying to solve, if any, issue?
Sure, there actually was. I would say not the beginning, but towards around when I formed Creative Results in right about 2013, there were huge opportunities. What I mean by that was that was a time where the residential housing market was recovering. We had vacant buildings everywhere, neglected buildings everywhere, all around. But it was also the time that everybody had a little bit of fear entering the marketplace. So there weren't really much or not enough individuals in our business during that time to be able to handle all the foreclosed properties, vacant properties, and so on. Yet at the same time during that period, there were also individuals looking for income opportunities, looking to learn more, looking to do what they can do to improve the community place while earning that's doing that as well too. So when the structure was actually formed, it solved both of those problems. We had new individuals coming in to learn about the business, to learn about the economy, to learn about our housing market, to learn how they can improve, help and contribute towards that. So when they did that, they're able to help improve the overall community at where we were at.
Stephen, you were only in your 20s. And
When I started, I was 23.
Yeah.
But when I formed Creative Results, I was 30, and I wasn't even married yet.
oh, wow, yeah. And people followed you. You now have more than how many real estate agents?
I have about 143 licensees in Minnesota and Wisconsin, including corporate staff.
That's incredible. And you see creative results as well all over the place on social media and their signs. We'll go to Ku, because that's the reason why we call you JB Vang, is because we see your signs all over the place, which is incredible. And it's a sign of, it's a symbol of hope and a symbol of pride for the Hmong community, that we see a name that's familiar and is of our own ethnicity.
Well, thank you for that. Before I went to JB, I was a commercial lender with Western Bank. And the issues we see is that there's a lot of wealth in the Asian community. A lot of times we don't know how to package it, we don't know how to frame it, we don't know how to leverage it in a way that will be helpful. And then we want to start businesses. We go down to the city, they're giving us the runaround, we don't understand the application process, we don't understand the approval process, and it becomes very, very difficult. I remember Councilmember Bostrom putting a moratorium on Payne Avenue because the Asian community was buying way too many buildings on Payne Avenue.
Oh, wow.
Right. 10-year moratorium to study Payne Avenue. So all the Asian businesses bought building on Payne Avenue, we can't do anything with it because you can't change it, you can't modify it, you can't improve on it because there's a study moratorium. 10 years. After 10 years, study hasn't even started.
Oh, no.
Right? So then we rallied around and we asked Paku to run for Councilmember Bostrom's seat. If we win, great. If we lose, let's see if we can scare the crap out of him, right? And she ran, almost won, scared him. The moratorium was lifted, and the Hmong community can now do what they need to do to their buildings on Payne Avenue, right? It's these types of things where our people don't understand how to maneuver and navigate the city system. That's why I got into development, was because nobody knew how to take a project from conception through entitlement, through financing, without getting screwed by contractors, to turnover. And that's why we got into it. We had no money, and so you could only do other people's projects because they had the money, you didn't. And so that's how we got started in development.
Yeah, thank you. Does that still float you today?
Absolutely.
Those kinds of opportunities?
Absolutely.
Those feelings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jin, let's talk specifically about the Asian Mall. You said it was an opportunity for you to solve a very long Minnesota winter.
That's all right, because I left for Minnesota since for 1996, because I saw that reason why we open our Asia Mall, because winter, Minnesota, way too long.
Who believes that's true? Way too long. We're indoors. Nothing to do. Can't go anywhere.
And the most of, the family, the weekend, or just say we do have a kid party today. So we had to get all different restaurant, family, 2 different people, go get different food, like bakery, barbecue, or go grocery store, get a seafood. There's reason why the Asian Mall there, they gotta be one stop, you can have everything there later. So we do try to have a, now we always PCA, haircut, Asian foot massage, foot massage. And we do have now a customer already set up restaurant like Korean food, Vietnamese food, Japanese donuts, and Hong Kong style food, and Chinese hot pot. So a bunch of restaurant there. So the reason why I built this is that we want to, at least a week in winter time, Asian family can take the whole family go there. Say, hey, Ma, you go shopping there, you go haircut. And the kids say, hey, I want some dessert, I want some bubble tea there. So get everything go. Or either you can order a bakery there and then sit down restaurant with celebration for family birthday party.
Yeah.
That's the reason we create out the Asia Mall.
A one-stop shop.
One-stop shop, that's what we're looking for, right? We
Okay.
short this, right, in
Family.
Minnesota for Asian people.
Yes. Families can do that. Stephen, I'm going to go to you.
Go ahead.
I would love for you to help us describe what it was like back in 2008 and 9 with the housing crisis. Because I would imagine that was significant in your career.
Yes, well, I could say that I wish there was YouTube and social media during that time. That would help a lot,
Why are you saying that?
right? Because right now we are sitting in one of the best generations ever with technology, and information and resources is all over through like YouTube, social media, chat rooms, where the playing field is equal across the board. But right when around 2007, 6 to 7-ish was when that's the beginning of the crash that it really hit pretty hard. In 08 to 09, during that time was a really huge hit. You could, if you drove around, any of you who still remember, if you drove around, we saw signs everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, there were signs everywhere, but it wasn't just the housing market that got hit, it was the overall economy that got hit. Everybody shared its struggle. Everyone who I spoke with, they were losing hope. Nobody wanted to spend, even in just buying anything, just anything in general. Nobody wanted to spend during that period there.
And you re-strategized.
I did re-strategize.
How did you overcome that?
You know, what I really did, I got to a point where I started observing to see why is it that there are still some very successful real estate professionals in the game. And I had to observe and study them. And believe it or not, one of them is sitting to my left.
Woo!
Hint, hint.
Cool.
I could actually share this one too, since Ku's here with me. Is I took Ku out for lunch, and I took Ku out for lunch during that time to dig a little bit of his brains. And as Ku is, he's a really big heart person here. He shared a lot of information with me, a lot of jokes here and there, but a lot of really good information that helped stretch my mind. Tell me, understand that, you know what, it really doesn't matter. Real estate or the professional that I was in, or not just that, but the economy overall, there will always be cycles. And I have to keep a clear, conscious mind, going to a business, going to what I'm doing, and adapt to it. Yet at the same time, I had to continue to figure out strategies and solutions to stay ahead of it. So when there's a problem, I had to recreate it. Then it came to right around 2010, if I recall, I finally met with what we call hard money lender. There's a very popular hard money lender called Pine Financials during that time. They didn't have an office here. I met with the actual owner. They didn't have an office. And he was the other person who stretched my vision that this is what you guys can actually do. So then I brought him in to meet with them, to share with the community that this is one way, one other source that we can do if you guys want to pick up.
So what was your lowest of the low?
As in,
back in
My
the
lowest
whole-
point?
yeah.
Well, my lowest point was when, I would say right around 2008, 2009, right
Yes.
around that time. That's when I actually, at a point, I almost gave up in real estate.
Yes.
Right. Because all my peers, everybody was out of the business, everybody who I knew at that time. The investors were out of the business, the brokers were out of the business, lenders were out of the business. I felt like I was the only person alive, like the movie I Am Legend, Will Smith. Right.
You and a
So,
dog.
so at a point, I almost gave up, and I even actually started looking at other opportunities to see what's out there. But it came down to one thing: my passion wasn't there. My passion wasn't real estate.
Okay.
Right, so it was there. And of course, meeting with Koo, who stretched my vision, he didn't really know this later time. Now you do, Koo. All of that actually changed around, made me to go out there to network with more people, network with individuals who knew more, who was doing well, while everybody else were afraid. These were the people who I had to meet. And each and every single one of these people who I met, they brought in something, a simple idea.
Yeah.
And just that idea, all of those ideas combined together, that helped me survive and that helped me re-strategize.
And don't give up on your dreams. So
Yes.
I asked Stephen earlier, I said, how's business today?
Oh, you want me to reply?
Let
Business,
me ask, yeah.
all right, okay. Business
How's
is still,
business?
it's great, it's great. This year is a really good year, very competitive, but it's still really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I can imagine. You, in fact, you said in your 16 years of doing real estate or having this company, this is the best year.
I would say in terms of the overall market, it is the best year
Yeah.
I've seen so far. In terms of the competition-wise, it's very, very competitive this year.
Good to know. Cool, I want to ask you about the day that Stephen called you, because so much of what we're learning is that who do you know in the business who can help you, who can give you insight, who's maybe already failed, perhaps, and then has overcome that. Like I would call Stephen, right? If anyone right here is looking into real estate development and real estate investment, Stephen's gone through that. But cool, at that point in 2007, 8, 9, you were doing really well, and Stephen was observing that you're not going to flinch at the housing crisis right now, or so much like some others. Do you remember that day, sitting down with him, and what did you share?
You know, I remember sitting down with Stephen. I remember us having lunch, but I talked so much that I don't remember what I said to him. So I really am appreciative of him saying those kind words to me. I take a lot of calls, and that dates me a little bit. But I do take a lot of calls, and I meet with a lot of people. If nothing else, just to give them a sense of encouragement and stuff of that nature. I know 2008 was tough. We were going through our own struggles also in 2008. I started at JB in 2002, and by 2005 when I started JB in 2002, we had 2 old ladies working in the basement. Our only computer was a 1989 Apple Macintosh, and we had a fax that still had that curly paper rollers in there. And by 2005, we had 4 million square feet under management and 17 staff. We weren't making money. We were losing money. We were working our tails off, but we weren't making money. So my wife and I went on vacation down to Disney World, and I just asked for a day by myself, and we rewrote the business plan. And the thought is, if there's a place in this world at that time for Northwest, for US, or for First Bank, and Western, then there has to be a place in this world for CB Richard Ellis, Welsh companies, and JB Realty, right? And so we revamped it, and we decided to say, we're not going to chase the commodity anymore. We're going to basically go after like-minded individuals that see real estate as an active investment, not as a passive investment, and actively manage that asset. Yeah. We came back, I fired 3.5 million square feet of clients. I fired all my staff, left with 5 people, and we started over again. 2008, we were coming back around, just coming back around, doing what we want to do. So it's tough. It was a very tough year.
So a lesson from that is it's okay to start over, or
Absolutely.
to revisit
revise your business plan?
You have to always start over. You have to always revise. You can make money in up cycles. You can make money in down cycles. It's how you position yourselves in the up and the down cycles. So.
Thank you. Jin, can you tell us about perhaps one obstacle you've faced as a consulting firm, general contractor, and how you overcame that?
Now here to now to 2008. This is my set year. So 2007, I opened a Japanese restaurant in Apple where I spent 1.22 million for this time. And then 2008 pandemic, that's my set year. The end of 2008, I had to close down the restaurant. I lose all my money.
Wow.
But it's a good thing. So after this, 2009, I changed it for a general contractor. That's why I have a little bit money right now to working on it. So.
Thank you so much. And for you, Mina and Dipankar, how has maybe the pandemic impacted your livelihood as stage managers and theater owners? I imagine they're in the business of gathering a whole lot of people in a small amount of space. So how has that, and in addition to the murder of George Floyd, impacted you? I imagine this is a very challenging time.
Yeah, so for us, when COVID happened, we were actually right in the middle of a play. And it was a play called Sueño, which is it's a classic. It was being directed by a Japanese-American director, actually, who was a national director from Alaska and LA. She came here, directed this piece, and halfway through the piece, COVID started spreading. So we actually shut the show down. And usually our ticket sales come in that last couple of weeks. And so we lost all our ticket sales. Everything was gone during that time. And we had to kind of recalibrate and figure out what to do. And while we were doing that recalibration, Mr. George Floyd got murdered. And so, our offices, we have leased offices on Lake Street, and they are about 2 miles, less than 2 miles down from the George Floyd Square. And then where we live in the Longfellow neighborhood is very close to the uprising that took place the next day. So that was another challenge as well, because we are very closely connected with all the businesses in what we call downtown Longfellow. And so during that uprising, there were white supremacists who came in and burnt, the 3rd Police Precinct, but also the restaurants, the immigrant-owned restaurants that were in that area. And so all of that got burnt down. And so what we did was, because it was our neighborhood, our community, and we were in the, and also we were in a space of we really wanted our own theater, so we had started looking and started thinking about a capital campaign when that happened in 2019. So what we also did was then we got together with all our neighbors in that area, that downtown Longfellow area, and started dreaming of what this neighborhood could look like again, because we needed to rebuild the neighborhood. So that means a huge challenge when something like, you're also grappling with racism, you're grappling with, we had to actually protect all our neighborhoods. I remember that first week, we spent all nights outside our street, trying to protect people from coming in, like white supremacists especially, from coming into the street, and also we were out from 10 o'clock at night to 4 o'clock in the morning, protecting our streets so that our businesses and our house wouldn't get destroyed. I mean, the whole neighborhood did that in Longfellow. And the space was also turned into a food desert, because the only market that will remain during that time on Lake Street was the Longfellow market. Everything else was destroyed. So people had to really walk to come to that neighborhood. So one of the things that we did out of that was really meet with our neighbors, our neighborhood, meet with the people around. We would host meetings outside a church called the Holy Trinity Church. It was around the corner, just parallel to Lake Street. And we created an organization, another nonprofit called Longfellow Rising, of which I'm now in the board of directors. And then we just started thinking about what would it mean to rebuild that neighborhood? What would it mean to really bring back, and really looking at what's happening on Lake Street, where a lot of people of color don't own business. They rent businesses, but they don't own businesses. And so what would it look like? We actually polled the community, and we did a visioning session for the next 6 months to a year, that really asked the community what do they want back in that neighborhood. And we really listened to the community. Most people really wanted more BIPOC ownership of land as well as businesses in that neighborhood. And so we've actually got like a beautiful plan now. We're trying to put it into place. Dipankar will talk a little bit more about some of the challenges, but that's what we're working on currently right now. And also realize, and also I think the other thing is about how the arts are really pivotal in this. I think people don't think about the arts as being a part of this. How can the arts actually bring community vitality? How can the arts bring economic vitality to the area? How can the arts, and so part of like what we've really done is programs like our shows are outside of Moon Palace Books. They're inside of the Gandhi Mahal space where there's nothing. There's just a little stage and we do poetry. And so like we have a program called Poetry in the Windows where we have poetry in the windows of 25 businesses all up and down Lake Street, so that we can bring community to that area and to bring people into that area. So I just think that it's like how can the arts actually bring community vitality into a space? How can the arts build economic vitality as well?
Meena, thank you. Yes. Dipankar, thank you so much.
You can hold the mic because the next question is for you, and I already know that we're over time already today. Thank you. This is just scratching the surface and learning more about these incredible individuals and what they can offer our community and what we can take away from these experiences. I want to allow everyone here the opportunity to share one leadership learning, whether it's from the last couple of years of having to be flexible and resilient, or something you've learned along the way that you could share and impart with our friends today about the importance of leadership, and if you own a business, what it means to continue on or continue that vision. So Dipankar, you can start with what is one lesson that you've learned as a leader?
When I sit with my brothers, I mean, these are some powerful, kick-ass people, man.
Powerful, kick-ass people. Yes, we can say that.
No, just collaborative politics. You know, I think if the more we collaborate with each other, you know, the silos that have been created are actually, we are all talking about the economic health of our community. Whether you do it as a real estate person, whether you do it as, in arts, in teaching, social service, we want a healthy community. And I think collaboration with each other and to go beyond silos, to find out that I'm going to really reach out to all the three folks over here and see what are the common grounds.
Meena, you can take it back, and if you want to share one item.
I guess for me it's I guess it's picking up from where Dipankar spoke about, but it is about building deep relationality with people in the community, and also to participate, to be part of the conversation, not to shy away from the conversation, to be part, being part of the table is so important. And actually, more than even being part of the table, I think as Pangea, one of the things that we've really learned is, and I think all of them spoke about this today, is how do you create your own table?
Yes.
Because I'm not interested in being part of anybody else's table.
Ah, yes.
And, so how do we create our own table and then have as many people as we can be part of that table, so we can all figure out, what it means to have shared power structures, and and have a different way of being than what we've, than the very hierarchical kind of way of being that we're constantly taught everywhere else.
Yes, and stop waiting for the invitation to be at the table. Create your own. I love that. Stephen, one lesson.
Well, everything rises and falls on leadership. So the size of your business, the size of your organization to your volume and what you do has a lot to do with the leader. It is a reflection of who the business leader is. So what I have actually learned, and I applied this many, many years ago, and still do nowadays, is to humble yourself down and just continue to serve everybody, giving them the credits where it is needed, taking all the hits, all the blames when things doesn't go right, but then allowing them to lead from the front by doing it, but at the same time just humbling yourself down so you yourself can take in feedbacks and still grow and learn, so that the better you are, the better your team and your business will continue to grow and strive.
Thank you. Powerful. Cool. Stephen, can you share? Thank you.
So after the George Floyd incident, there's been a lot of conversations around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I have to say, I don't really understand it, right? I don't understand how that stuff comes together. I don't understand how to implement that stuff. I don't know what that means. It's great. It's 3 great words, but we don't know what that means. Well, I don't know what that means. A couple of months ago, I was at a conference in San Antonio, and what I picked up has changed the way in which I view these 3 words, okay? Diversity is to see people that are like you, color, hairstyle, ethnicity present in the room. Inclusion is to take those people's life experience, cultural experience, and use them in the development of whatever strategies you guys are going to be using. Equity is actually developing strategies with those life experiences as you implement them. I don't know if this is leadership. I don't know what this is. All I know is that it's clear that we need all 3 of these, and it's clear that for any business, be it the not-for-profit world or the for-profit world, to move forward in a multicultural environment, we have to define our own diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Thank you. And Jin?
I don't know how to answer this question.
Anything you've learned as a leader?
Anything I learned as a leader? Basically, every day I'm learning for everyone. Pretty much that everyone's just less to me right now. So I'm still learning for like every day we're meeting the other owner or leader or get an experience. I'm still moving on it, so.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you again Mina and Dipankar from Pangea World Theater, Stephen Tao, CEO of Creative Results, Ku Vang, President of JB Vang, and Jin Chang of Chan's Consulting. Please allow yourself to give them a round of applause. Please stand up, everyone. And thank you for this time. I'm going to give this time back to the Hmong Chamber for our next session.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Brilliant in your work, man. That's fantastic. We should exchange that.
I was going to
We talked months ago about Vistage peer groups.
Oh, yes,
yes, yes. I recall. Everything going well?
Absolutely have a meeting together. Like meeting in person.
Yeah, no, I know. I
thought you looked at familiar. I thought you looked at familiar.
could have put it together. Yeah, that's always nice to meet folks in person. Great conference. I feel honored to be at the very first one. Because in 30 years it'll be. I'll keep going. Great to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for lunch. So please grab your things or leave them right in this room. Lunch is outdoors. You'll have lots of friends letting you know where you can find your lunch items today. Remember, food trucks are all around.